Hello, this is Ariana Antonio for MUX 1403. This is my Project 3 prototype, or Week 3, Week 3 project review, whatever. Anyway, so I pretty much changed everything this week. It's a completely different looking app. It pretty much just maintains the same kind of color scheme, but otherwise everything else is different since I switched to a tab bar, as you can see down here. And just organizationally, it's just so much better. It's better looking. I sort of, took inspiration from some other apps that were similar or social, like Goodreads and Instagram and stuff like that. So the app automatically opens up to your friend feed, as you can see here, since, that'll probably be where people most likely first go, is to see what their friends are thinking. And then you can, I have it open in Reflector, so then you go to the critics feed, and as you can see, both this, my profile and friends, they all have the search bar up at the top now, instead of search having its own page, and the critics reviews automatically will populate with the top 10 movies at the box office, so you can see those reviews automatically if you want to see something that, obviously is new to the theaters. Otherwise, you can go and search by movie title. And then if you go to new review, which I put in the center since it's going to be a pretty central choice for people, and I fixed some of the problems with the keyboard from last week. So now when you just click outside of a field, the keyboard disappears and you can still do the same stuff. And I made the add to favorites with a heart, since that was pretty obvious. It might be even a thing where once users get used to it, they don't even need add to favorites. They'll just know that that's what a heart means, but just in case, it says add to favorites. When you click inside the review section, text field or text view, the keyboard hides it, and so instead, when you click inside it, I have it opening to another page so that you can write a review. That'll also help if some people are writing lengthy reviews, as I know some people think that they're critics and kind of do. So you can go ahead and type it on in, and then it'll show up in your little review. And then when you click save, it will take you to your profile page. I may change this actually later so that somewhat based on feedback and watching people use it, so that naturally your review will now pop up right here as the top one. But I may instead have it show up to your friend's feed instead, sort of like with Instagram. If you post a picture, then it shows up to the top of your updates feed. So for now it goes to my profile, but I may change it for next week and have it go to friends, and then obviously your review would be at the top. So then here we're on our profile page, which I didn't really even have last week, but I need, because people have to set up their stuff somehow. And so I haven't clicked inside a review yet. They all still go to Gravity. It's just Gravity looks a little different this week from last week, just in terms of the color scheme, and I put a little heart there, and obviously if it wasn't marked as a favorite, it would have the empty heart showing that it wasn't marked as a favorite, or maybe no heart at all. And then there's a settings page that doesn't really do anything right now. None of these links work because I don't actually have a method to connect to Twitter, and I didn't see much point in creating a whole page to pretend connect to Twitter, especially since that's usually a pop-up anyway, and all that sort of stuff. So this is just an example of the type of settings that you would be able to change in the app. And there's the survey, but we'll come back to that. And then I have the favorites tab, and this will just have your favorites. And this doesn't have a search in it just because there's already a search on the profile if you're looking for something specific. So this would just be a list of your favorite movies in date order, I suppose. So then if you go back to my profile, you can go ahead and take the survey. So I'll show you the questions. I have the first question is the same from last week, overall impression. The app organized in a way that made sense. Did each tab icon make sense given the task it represented? For now, or my profile page is the little movie clapper. Originally, it was just an outline of a single person, and I wanted to make sure that people would be able to understand that they were still going to my profile, even though it wasn't clearly a person for the profile. And they did. I mean, it says my profile, but I just didn't want to make sure anything was confusing, and it turns out that wasn't, and it aesthetically, I think, looks better having the clapper in the app as opposed to a person. And the experience navigating with the tab bar, obviously that was much, much, much better. The ease of writing a review, and are there any features that you feel the app is missing? Most of these got good reviews. People seem to like using the app. They like the way it's organized. The layout and organization, because they did take inspiration from other popular apps, and the tab bar is just easy as it is. The layout seemed to be very familiar to people, so it was kind of immediately obvious how to do everything. So I think that made it easier. In terms of missing features, this I keep having to come back to. It was a lot of people, even in my survey originally, said that they would like something for movie times in there, and I didn't do anything for that. I was worried it would take the focus away from my app, of sharing your own movie reviews and stuff, but it seems like it's something enough people want, so I could easily add that into the critics area. When you search for a movie on Rotten Tomatoes, for reviews wise, it could be easy to add, something like a little ticket stub to the top and search for movie times and that sort of thing. It'll still actually add quite a bit to the app in terms of needing to create the maps and, search by location and theater and times. It'll add a bit of bulk, but it seemed that enough people would want to look up movie times, and that makes sense, because why would anyone want to see a review for a movie and then open up a separate app to go look for movie times for it? They're going to probably stop using my app if that's the case and just look up reviews on Flickster and then look up movie times on Flickster. So it does make sense that that's something I need to add. In terms of a couple things to tweak for next week, like, eventually the friends in the top corner, that's going to be clickable so you can see a list of friends. This also, reviews will be clickable, so that right now it's on this page here and you can easily scroll, but some space is taken up by this, so I'll eventually have its own page, or when you click here, it'll just be a full page of reviews, and there's going to be an option to edit and delete your reviews. I don't have that in now, and that was one thing that I noticed when people were playing around with the app, that I need a way to edit and delete reviews. So that's something I'll be adding. And then when you go to friends, right now you just click on here, or you just see the person's name, and then it obviously just goes to a default review. But when it's a friend's review, I'll probably have that person's name in the corner, maybe their photograph from their profile, and then when you click on that, then it will take you to their profile page. And the reason I didn't add that in here, add that functionality, is because essentially if you click on Angie Evans right here, it's going to take you to a profile page that looks exactly like this, but it's Angie's instead of yours. So that just would have, I already feel like I kind of had an example of how that would look, but that might be something I might add for next week for a final project, just for clarity, to show that that's something that it will look like. So yeah, let me make sure I went through my questions. I did realize when I was recording this that I originally had my profile in the center. I just had all three kind of review tabs in a row. And then I decided at the last minute I want a new review in the center, since that's a focus feature is writing a review, so I just wanted it in the middle. And so I switched the tabs at the last minute before turning it in, but I didn't change it so that when you hit save on new review, I forgot to change, right now this is hooked up to change the view to the center tab. So I didn't change that. So when I turned it in, when you click save, it just stays on new review because I switched the tabs and not the code. It's fixed now so that when you hit save, it goes to my profile, but my turned-in project doesn't have it. But I fixed it for the video and before some people tested it as well. So anyway, yeah, the overall user experience was definitely positive. Again, this was a very familiar app for people in terms of the layout. And people seem to like, just kind of in general, the overall look of it and the idea of it as well. And I'm, proud of having that little tomato for critics because it's going to be taking it from Rotten Tomato. I had a lot of fun coming up with all of this week. The tasks were definitely easier to accomplish. Again, last week it was with the navigation, it was forward, backward, forward, backward. and this just makes navigating so much easier to go through and just makes much more sense. And I think, I don't think there were many new pain points discovered. There were just little things that I'm missing, like I said, like the edit and delete button, and that people would like movie reviews, or not movie times to be searchable within the app as well. So that was definitely still got some good feedback from this week, and improved the app a lot, I think, in my mind. So that's it. Thanks so much. Bye.